Hello Libra, this is your November 1st to November 15th, 2016 read. For the main read, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot again. I don't have the box still, but this is the outside of the deck in case you wonder what that looked like. It's an older deck that I very much like. I think it's very great with messages and has a lot of symbolism in it. And for the advice cards, I'm using the Saints and Angels Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. It's a 2005 deck. I've had it a long time, but I love it, so thought I'd use it. As usual, I've already pre-shuffled the deck, so let's go ahead and get them going. That's another one that came in upside down, but that's a good one to come in upside down, so I feel like that's supposed to happen that way. One more? Okay. And this is over here. And that's up there. No, we're good. Getting card drunk here. We'll leave the advice cards for now. Alright, so your overall energy is interesting. Typically I have one card that I'm feeling like we should touch the bottom here. Okay. I always see these two. Okay. So I feel like the crowning energy, but it's going to be kind of shared by two other cards, is the Ten of Swords reversed. As I said in the last video for Gemini, I try to read these upright because people have mentioned that it's easier for them to follow, and the messages come through either way, so that's fine with me. But when the cards insist on coming in upside down, I do keep them that way because there's a reason they're coming in that way. And I feel like with this one reversed, I feel like this is more personal mental torture. I feel like you're kind of holding yourself to a certain standard. I don't think it's really this... I don't think there's like things going on around you that are really that bad, but you're worried. And you're kind of like feeling responsible for some things. I'm getting like ownership. Like you have ownership, or you feel like you have ownership of a situation or situations. But I feel like it's not really that way. Like, I feel like you might be torturing yourself a little bit mentally, but it's not, like, I don't think, it makes me think like the lens is out of focus a little bit, or it's like it's been smudged, and you're not seeing things clearly. I don't think, I think you're kind of beating yourself up in a sense. Something didn't go the way you thought it would, and people are kind of arguing, and you kind of feel a little responsible for that. Although I don't really feel like, you really own that. I feel like, again, it's like the lens is out of focus. Things aren't being seen correctly. I also want to share the other two cards that are also crowning this time. It's sharing that same time frame. This is going closer to the 15th. This is in the beginning, around the 1st. This is a lot of good home life, fun, happiness, feeling loved. And, of course, the Ace of Cups is love, overflowing, good times. I don't feel like this is a start of a new relationship, but just the resurgence and remembering how appreciated you are and appreciating others. Like, both of these cards, like, I feel like they're trying to tell me that this kind of energy goes through, like, this whole time frame, you're sharing this energy with that guilt energy. Like, it's good times, feeling loved, loved overflowing. Like, it's like this whole time frame has these two cards as well, but it's like, it's a subset. Like, if you can let the guilt go, although I have a feeling it might not be that easy, but I feel like this is like a sub rhythm. Like, I feel like a lot of good times, feeling like you're being a part of the in crowd, that type of thing, love overflowing, being protected, protecting others. You know, I feel like there's a lot going on. I think they're just trying to make the point that I feel like there's a lot of guilt. Like, you feel a lot of guilt for something, but they're like, it's not, like, it shouldn't be like that. Like, there may have been a misstep or two, but it doesn't warrant, like, beating yourself up to this level. Like, address it, learn from it, move on type feeling I'm getting. Like you may have said something or done something that you kind of were like, looking back, you're like, I really wish I didn't do that. And the advice is just like address it, look at it for what it was, and just realize things like this happen in life. This situation will come around again. One like it will come around again in a different form. Just catalog it. Remember, and just like realize this is what happened, this is what I did, this is what I would rather have done, or just this is what I did and I didn't like how that turned out. Just so you remember to next time it comes around, you don't just follow the same pattern, that you make a different choice. I'm also getting that you should actually play it out in your head if you made the better choice or what you think the better choice would have been. This will help in the future when this situation replays, because we're all in like these patterns. When this type of thing replays, even if it's years out, if it's a decade or more even, you'll have that subliminal, like what's that word I want? Subconscious mindset of a certain way you want to go, and you'll naturally go that way. So they're saying just review it in your head, decide what you didn't like, plan it out again with a different choice, and it'll set the framework for next time this comes around. Because I feel like this comes around every so often. A lot of us have patterns, and I feel like this is kind of a pattern situation for you. It may be years or a few years out, but at least when it comes around again, you can look back and go, oh, that's what I did last time, but this is what I did this time. And you have that at least going to your benefit. And I'm also getting like, they're saying be confident about that choice and let go of the mistake. Address that you did it, but just like also address that you're human like the rest of us, and things happen, and you learn from it. And this is what you're going to do next time. Great. Okay, I seem like we went on for a while with that. It almost feels like there's a big part of what this reading is. It's interesting because, again, with these social times, this card is you, the King of Cups. A lot of love, a lot of caring, a lot of having control of your emotions, being careful what you say, making other people feel good is kind of what I'm getting from this. It's interesting because I feel like things are going in your favor, but they're saying you still, even though things go in your favor, I'm still feeling like this guilt feeling. It's interesting. Because it's almost like you're feeling or you're seeing something's going to change. Because there is a change coming up, so. And I think maybe that's where that guilt is coming in. Because I feel like you're together with whoever it may be, you're together with someone or people. For a lot of you, it's a someone. And it may not be a permanent relationship, and you know at this point, but they don't. And you're not ready to say anything just yet. But you're going to. You're just trying to be diplomatic and do things in a respectful way. A more, like you're trying to make it easier on both of you. Okay. Maybe that's how this is tying in. Okay. I don't feel like it's mean. I just feel like you're trying to do things in a way that you think things will work out the easiest. I got this. There's a quick change here. As always, I read the card based on what I'm getting off of it. This is a quick change card. When I look at this, I'm getting that you fear the tower. The tower didn't come up in your read, by the way, but you're afraid of the tower. Like you're expecting or afraid that maybe there's going to be a big like upset and it's going to hit the fan type of feel. Like that's very real for you. I don't feel like that's what's happening. I do feel like the other person isn't taking it all that well, but they're not. Like, I feel like they're more, like, taken back. I don't feel like they're freaking out, but they're kind of taken back, and they may say some things that they maybe normally wouldn't, or maybe they don't completely mean, partially mean, things they've been holding back for a while. But this is their line. The Hanged Man, I always have to be careful because it depends on how he's coming through. I don't want to, like, just get pigeonholed to the, pigeonholed, whatever the word is, to the textbook meaning of this one. Because it always comes in differently for me. And I feel like you kind of like caught them in a snare, like, whoop, like literally, like, that's not what this looks like, but like in the cartoons, they used to have these trees bent over with the rope, and another cartoon character walk by and get snagged by the rope and end up upside down. Like, I feel like, ooh, that's what happened to them. They're kind of shocked, and it's a change, and it's kind of taking them off the normal path they were taking. I feel like the avenue they were going, like the way they were planning to go, has just kind of like came out from under them. And I feel like they move on fairly quickly from it. I feel like they're kind of upset, but they're just like, I feel like it's more of like they walk away, they're like, fine, and they walk away. It's not that they're not upset, it's just like they don't want to deal with it. And they kind of move. They just kind of like move on or move out or whatever the deal is. Like, I feel like they exit your life as quickly as they can. Okay, I'm not getting anything else with that right now, so I'm going to let that be. If we need to come back to it, we will. It's interesting because it's not like you don't have feelings for this person, however this was working out. And as that change happens, as the change is happening, I almost feel like they come back towards you with an offer of a reconciliation or something like that. I feel like that kind of comes back and you don't want it. And I just feel like you're kind of like stagnating on it, or just kind of pushing it off, or like, you know what, let's see how this works for now. Let's just keep this take some time apart and just see how we feel and come back to it. I feel like you're kind of stagnating it. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like you're just kind of like, the feeling I'm getting is just like, oh, I just wish this would go away. I just wish this would stop. Because I feel like you know what you want at this point. But I don't feel like you're mean, and I feel like you're being very diplomatic and trying to be nice. So you're trying not to be cruel, and you're afraid if you're too blunt or too hard set with your words, that's going to cause friction, and you're going to make the other person feel bad, and you don't want to do that. So I feel like this offer comes back to you, and you kind of try to stagnate it. Or like, let's give it a few months. Let's just, take some time apart and see how things go. And you're not like completely saying no, but you know that you're not going to say yes. And the other person kind of like, they feel kind of like this is their card after this part, after you've kind of like stagnated them, and they kind of feel, I feel like they're kind of feeling blocked. And they are blocked. Blocked from being a part. Like, I feel like they need to move on, but they're kind of, at least after this offer comes, they're holding on a little bit for hope. Let's get some. I feel like this one's theirs. Oh. Okay. All right. So I got 4 cards here. This is them, where I said they were stagnant, or they were just kind of feeling blocked. I got the marriage card here. So if they're not married to you, they want to be. And they really, they see you as the one. I don't feel like that's how you feel about them, though. But it's interesting, because if you're in a marriage with this person, I feel like a lot of you, it's that type of feel. It's a long-term relationship that you're kind of ready to move on from. But they're not. And they're trying to convince you to stay. It's interesting, because I do feel like with this person you have a connection. And there's a deep connection there. But you're just... I just feel like you want more. One of the reasons that you kind of want to move on, which I'm kind of getting here, is that I feel like this is them. And when it says don't compromise, oddly enough, this is usually an advice card, but this is kind of coming through as in what's kind of bothering you. It feels like they are not big on compromise. So in a lot of cases, I feel like they very much push their way through, or just they go their way and they want it their way and they demand it their way. And I feel like that might be what's kind of causing the friction. I also feel like this is coming through for them to where that they don't want to give up on the relationship, and they don't plan to back off. They plan to try to keep the relationship going. Again, I'm getting that you do care about this person. Let me go back to the beginning, because I got one card in the beginning for you. It kind of came in like this. I feel like it's interesting because when you're a leader comes in, I feel like it's because of the information you have and where you're feeling like you're going to go. You're deciding how this event is going to play out because you've decided that you're not going to share it just yet. You're kind of holding back on what you're feeling and thinking. So, like, it's saying you're in control about when you do release that information. Okay, that's where we're going with it. So I think we're just kind of reiterating that again. It's kind of, you know what you want to do, you're just kind of holding back, and it's kind of like up to you. Like, you have it in the palm of your hand. You're just waiting for the right moment, and you just feel like this isn't the right moment. The fourth card was Blessings of Abundance, which is interesting again, because this is coming through, like, as that quick change happens. This is also touching your Ace of Cups. I feel like you have a lot with this person. You do have a lot with this person, but you're not... It's like she has grapes, and she wants strawberries. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Like, she has a lot, and there's a lot invested, but she wants something different. And it's not that this is bad. Not bad at all. Just not. She wants strawberry shortcake, not wine. It's just kind of how it feels right now. In this time frame, I feel like you're getting along and things are going well, and I don't feel like there's a major conflict going on. I just feel like you're trying to change things. It's coming back to this part here again, because I think this is interesting. I'm getting the marriage sense again. I feel like this it's kind of an upset, but I don't feel like they're accepting it. But they kind of move away from... They kind of move away from it. Almost like sometimes... In some cases, for some of you, I feel like the other person is flat out going to ignore what you say. And they're going to go forward like things are normal. And until you make changes, like you start making changes or try to go that route, I feel like they're just going to ignore that it's actually happening until there's like actual proof that it's happening. But even then, they're just kind of going to hold back and just kind of feel just kind of imprisoned by it. It's very interesting reading because I feel like there's a lot of love on your side, and it's not like you don't care about this person, but you're ready to move on, and they're not ready to let you move on, and they're just doing what they can to keep you. I feel like as we move out of this time frame, I don't feel like you're content. I feel like you're a little unhappy because the other person is trying to show you love or giving you an offer to keep things going or trying in that sense. And I feel like you're stagnating on it. I really feel like you're stagnating on it. You've already kind of made up your mind and you know what you want to do. But it's fun. It's not fun. It's interesting because... I don't know why fun came up. That's interesting because I feel like you have a lot. And you're like, you have all these things, but it's almost like all these things that you have, all these blessings that you have, part of you is seeing them as burdens because it's making it harder for you to move in a different direction. And I feel like the word desperately, you desperately want to go in a different direction. Are we getting anything else? All right, let's recap real quick. So, again, the overall I feel like it's guilt. I feel like this is what's going in your head. Guilt is going on. Especially when you say what you want to say, and whatever changes is quick. It's interesting because I feel like if you're not living together, I feel like the other person backs off or takes some time away from you. If you are living together, I feel like they're just kind of ignoring you or avoiding you for a little while. That's what we're kind of getting here. As you go forward, though, I do feel like due to the emotional bonds you had from the past, you're having a hard time just cutting cold cut. You're being very careful on what you say. You're trying to be caring. You don't want to be cruel. I feel like that's a big thing. You're trying to be nice, but you're still trying to go in your direction. But it's becoming harder and harder to go in the direction you want, but also be nice at the same time. And I feel like you're choosing nice, and it's kind of making you a little discontent with it. It's kind of what I'm getting for this situation. Basically, that you're trying to change things, and it's not changing the way exactly you want it to. And you're kind of stagnating closer to the 15th. Of course, leave me a comment below. Let me know. The information's kind of pulling back, so we must have hit what we needed to hit. I would love to hear comments, of course. Or, of course, if you want a personal read from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.